Oh, Mr. Dara, can you hear me, please? Am I audible?
Yes, can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you clearly.
All right, perfect.
Thank you very much for joining us. Let's just wait for the kids. It's time is 3:56 over here, so we have about 4 minutes to 4 p.m.
Okay,
So we'll give them a bit of time to join.
All right.
Then where is Kapu? Those were the other people in my class.
This is the most upset Mr. Beast has ever been.
I'm in your class, right? Good morning.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
Is this class for everybody?
Yes, it's for everybody. It's part of our club activities where you meet some experts and talk to them. So just hold on, sit tight, and by 4 p.m. Nigerian time, you start some introductions and you get some context as to what.
Sir, I didn't hear you. Is this for everybody?
Yes, can you hear me clearly?
Yeah.
Okay, yes, it's for everybody. So just give your colleagues some time to join us, so we'll explain what's going on for those of you that don't understand. And those of you that were part of our previous tech talk with an expert, just sit tight and enjoy today's discussion. So just hold on and sit tight. So I'll do some introductions very soon. Good evening, everyone. You're welcome to today's session and today's edition of Tech Talk with Experts. I hope you all can hear me clearly. Oh, I forgot to switch on my. video.
Sir, good afternoon, sir.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. I hope you can all see and hear me clearly.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's great. You're all welcome to this event today.
Thanks, sir.
It's a very exciting one. I'm sure some of you that just joined the club, you're wondering what's happening. You're probably questioning, are we really going to have a class today? Are we doing Scratch or Python? Today we're going to be hearing from an expert. We're going to listen to what he has to tell us. We're going to hear all about his background, how he started tech, just like you guys, what got him interested in tech, what he does. And he's going to show you a few stuff, a few interesting things. I'll leave him to do the introduction himself because he's a big man. I cannot be introducing big men like that. And he's someone that is that got interested in tech at a young age. So I hope you guys are excited to meet our guest.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. It's good to have you all here with us today.
Yes, sir.
I hope you can all remember who I am. For those of you that probably have not seen me in a while, I'm still myself, Victor, your club host. I'm the one behind the scenes that run so many things for you guys. Mr. Adiola is the guy you've probably been seeing for a while, but we work together. And today, an event like this, you'll be seeing my face because I would like Mr. Adiola to rest for just 1 week while we invite an expert to speak with us. So you're all welcome. And shortly, I'll be handing the mic over to our guest speaker. He will introduce himself. He's a tech expert. He's currently not based in Nigeria. He works for a big multinational. And I will leave him to do a bit of introduction for us. I'm just trying to wait for some of us to join the meeting. That's why I'm taking a bit of time. So I will be handing over to him very soon. Mr. Dara, I don't know if you're ready for us. Are you there?
Hello.
Okay, great. Good to have you here with us, Mr. Dara.
It's awesome.
Like I said, I cannot introduce big men. I allow big men to do the proper introduction. So you can see him, he's surrounded with gadgets. He's not just a developer by mouth. He does a lot of development work and he's a hardcore programmer. So Mr. Dara, I'll leave you to take it off from here, introduce yourself to the kids. After you introduce yourself, there's a little thing we do just to welcome you to the club. This is Code Early Club. It's a club for kids. We introduce them to tech and everything about programming from an early age of 7 to 15. So we guide them through the tech paths they're supposed to take. We do a bit of visual programming, transition to text-based programming, and all of that. So welcome to Code Early Club, Mr. Dara, and I'm handing over the mic to you now. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, and good afternoon, everyone. Just 1 minute. All right. Just trying to close the support ticket. It's not like I'm working on a Saturday. I'm not working. I'm just trying to fix my website. Right. So good afternoon, everyone. Well, I don't know what Mr. Victor has been telling you, but I'm not a big man. I'm just another guy, like everyone else. But it's an honor to be here. I would say I love, programs like this where I get to speak to people just starting out in their careers, because I tell people a lot that I was once like you many, many, many years ago. Not that long, but it's quite some number of years now. And I won't call myself old because I'm not old. You can see I look like 15. I look like some of you. So I can easily pass for a teenager. But I'm not 20, I'm not 25, I'm not 30. I'm older than that. That's where I put that. If you want to find out my age, Google me on Bing, as one of my bosses would say. But it's an honor to be here. The title of the program says The Future of Work. But then I would say, what is the essence of a future without an history? Well, I don't have a script. I don't have slides to show you. Okay, so I'm just going to speak straight from the heart here. And what I tell most people who are just, in the early stage of their career, learning or just starting out, is I tell them a bit of my story of how I got started into tech. I think I'm gonna make this interactive. How many of us know Ibadan? How many of us? You know Ibadan. How many of us do actually live in Ibadan? Or no, probably not. You probably live in Abuja. But anyways, you know Ibadan. You know it's a city in Oyo State, somewhere southwest of Nigeria. That was the city I grew up in. But then I lived in a part that you would most likely call a village. Okay, I lived in somewhere called Abayefun. That's where I grew up. I think from 1997-ish thereabout. I've grown a little bit when we moved to Ibadan from Abeokuta and all that. I was born in Ibadan, moved to Abeokuta, back to Ibadan. And then that was where I spent most of my teenage years till I went to the university in Akure. So that was where I grew up. Naturally, if I look at where I came from, I should not be anywhere near this country, looking at my background, but then grace, hard work, and perseverance are one of the things that actually got me here. So I'll tell you a bit of my story. Around the year 2000 and around 2002. Yeah, should be. Yeah, 2002 thereabout. How many of us were born then by 2002?
I was.
Okay, apart from Mr. Victor. All right, 2002, I don't know if it still exists. There's this thing called cyber cafes where, because you don't have a computer at home, or you might have a computer at home and don't have internet, you go to this place where you have internet and a computer, and you pay a time slot to have access to the computer for that number of minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour, and all that. So my uncle just finished NYSC around that time. That's my mom's younger brother. And then he came around and was like, you boys don't have email address. Why? In this age and time of internet, you guys go open email address. And then me and my two older brothers, we went to the cyber cafe. And that was the very first time in my entire life, I was about 10, 11 then, in my entire life, I would actually sit in front of a computer. Yep, 2002. I was more than 10 years old already. There were no smartphones at that time. Not everything we have to do. So that was my first time at the computer. Of course, I didn't know how to operate the computer, so my brothers opened the email address. I can still remember the email clearly. joeglobon@yahoo.com. That was the email. It was a combination of my brother's name and mine. My brother's names, two of them. So, but then some few months after that, on the summer break, that 2-3 months holiday we usually have, my mom enrolled us in a computer-ish kind of school. So we had this family friend who owns a printing business. So we just stayed in a shop just to know how it does its business. Then we're pressing computers one by one. Of course, I still didn't know how to press the computer, how to operate a computer. So I was just playing with working with papers and all the rest of the crafty things I could do. But then sometime in 2003, 4-ish, but I think because probably my mom realized I was curious about computers or electronics, because before then, I spoil radios a lot. Radios, anything electronic, anything that has wires inside, I would dismantle it and reassemble it. Torchlights, rechargeable lantern, rechargeable anything. I would dismantle it and then bring it back. If it fails to work, I would try to fix it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. So I think my mom realized that curiosity, and of course, it was more like, why would you be not have a computer at home? Because that is the next big thing. And then my parents brought money together, saved all of their money, and bought us a desktop. Now, the cool thing about that desktop is it had 12 gigabytes of internal storage. That's probably the RAM on some of us phones today. So the total memory, the total amount of files that computer could save was 12 gigabytes. There was Windows XP then. So the printing guy installed the thing for us. So that afternoon, when the computer arrived at home, my brother taught me how to, operate the mouse, how to walk around and use it. I think that was the starting point for me, essentially, 2003, 2004. And then I realized then I could click this thing, I could press this thing, and this thing would happen. And then I became more curious. So every night, because of course in Nigeria, we'll probably still know this, lights usually comes at a time when you don't need it, when you're probably sleeping. So and of course we couldn't afford a generator at that time in our lives. So in the night, when everyone had gone to sleep, NEPA would bring light around 12 a.m., take it around 4 a.m. For some reason, when the light comes, I will also wake up. And then I'll go to the computer, just press my way around. I had no idea what I was doing. I was just clicking through, Windows XP walkthrough, click through, watch some videos that came with it. Of course, we didn't have internet. So what I would do, because I was more curious, I would save my allowance. I would not eat during the breaks. I would save up my allowance, go to the cyber cafe. There was this 3.5-inch diskette that we used to use back then. Save web pages on top of it, take it back home and read them up. Once I'm done, delete them, go back to the cyber cafe, download on them again, come back home. And I was doing all that for a number of years until around all those time, all I wanted to be was a farmer. I wanted to go big into agriculture. For some reason, I loved Obasanjo, and he's a big farmer in Abeokuta and all that. That was what I wanted to be, because agriculture is the thing. I wanted to feed the nations. But then, because my curiosity in computers had actually increased by then, when it was time for me to go to university around 2000 and I finished WAEC things around 2008-ish, thereabout. For 2 years, I was at home, but no, Nigeria situation, JAM, WAEC will eat you some number of times. Yeah, those 2 years, I was, going to Cyber Cafe. Of course, now, no longer diskettes. I now use disks to save pages. Flash drives were the thing then. So I would save these pages. By then, we could afford to buy more storage on the computer. That was actually the computer I used to enter university. Then also my brother, when he went to the university, his laptop was 30 gigabytes. So I had more storage to play with. He would come home with some music, play the music. Then I was able to repair even computers without actually going to really, really learn it. So when things break, I just, this thing can plug here. I can plug it. Things would work. I'll break it. My mom will fix it, break it again. She will fix it. So that was what started my journey essentially. And then I decided to study computer science, although we know nowadays it's not exactly compulsory to study computer science to be a great programmer. But of course, I studied computer science, but let's put that story aside for now. So that was my journey into the world of computers. I went to university, studied computer science, but I think also part of why I said I'm a lucky person is that during my university days, I met a lot of interesting people. I met a lot of kind people that helped me through my journey. I can remember back in 100 level, the first year of university, there's this professor, Professor Alesha. I can never forget him in my entire life. He was the HOD, the head of department of the computer science department. And then he took me in, like he mentored me literally, well, academically, and also, he realized, these boys love computers a lot. They're studying computer science. So it was like opening doors for us. So he told us about competitions to go for. I've written some couple of, small things, website pages by them, but then I realized I could build entire apps that could change the world. But of course, I had no clue it was even bigger than I thought I could just build apps for my school, apps for my friends. That was the scope of my understanding. But then he helped open up and say, hey, you can go for these global competitions, these national competitions, write software. And then I had a couple of friends also then that we met together, that we built apps, went to competitions here and there. By the grace of God, we won back to back a lot of those competitions, which I think also contributed to the journey. I still have one of the medals, well, not exactly medal. This one we won in 2012, the innovation category. I keep all these things handy for me. The only competition we didn't win first place in Nigeria, the entire country, was this competition. We came second place for 2 years running. And then we decided, we're too old for this. Then we quit. But then we won other competitions back to back. There are some other ones I wish I could. No, I could actually do that. This medal here, I'm not trying to show off. I'm just trying to tell you what could happen if you take this thing seriously. Okay, I'm not a show
My
off
club
person.
members know why you're a big man now.
Yeah, so this is the. But then, luckily for me, one of the teams I mentored actually won, and they gave me this when they came first place. This competition would then come first place in. They came first place many years after, and then they gave me their plaque, and then I get to keep it. I was not the one who went for the competition, but then it's sort of a brag for me also. One moment, let me set this aside. So, why am I saying all of this is, if you take this thing seriously, really seriously, success is guaranteed. It might take you time to get there. Don't get me wrong, it won't be easy. And I'm not trying to scare you. It will not be easy, but it will be worth it. Just like you're trying to get, some of us have six-pack, some of us have super-pack. To get six-pack is not easy. You have to go to the gym and do a lot of hard exercises. It's the same thing with success in this IT field. And then in this age and time where we live, you probably know now there's AI, things that could do things for us, even probably sometimes even smarter than us human beings. Well, but what I think of it is, human beings wrote these things. So they don't have two heads. If they can do it, I can do it. If they can think about it and make it work, I can also do the same. That is the way I look about work. Now, let's put it aside for a moment. And I'm just going to pause there on my story. My story is way longer than that. And I don't think I have all the entire time, because I want to entertain questions from us also. I think that's more interesting than me just
Thank you
pouring
very
at you.
much. Thank you very much, Mr. Dara. I don't know if I'm still audible. Can everyone hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
All right,
sir.
great. I hope you guys enjoyed Mr. Dara's introduction. I hope you understand, his journey into tech, how he started. It's just a typical Nigerian story also, with the NEPA situation, with those old desktop computers, those monitors with very large backs. And it's wonderful that most of us are even starting on a better note. A lot of you guys are using your laptops now instead of those very heavy computers. So you should somehow consider yourself a bit privileged to use better things. Like, I imagine battling with an 8 gig or 12 gig ROM computer. That would have been very annoying, but that was the speed at that time. So thank you very much for that introduction. You see, so you give us a background to how you started tech. You also mentioned that, computer science degree is not really so important for this. But what were those, I needed to point out those eureka moments for you, especially while you were growing, where you yourself, you discovered that, no, I can do this. Like, those particular moments where you felt that, you mean like I could do this, and I actually did this, like specific projects, specific points in time where you were able to tell yourself that, no, because of this particular, there are those moments that just happen and you'll be like, no, I know I can push forward and do better. Yes. So can you give us examples of those particular eureka moments and how it happened? Let the kids understand that they are also capable of doing this. It's not beyond that.
Yeah. I wanted to say, shockingly, that the first one that came to mind is a continuation of where that story of my university stopped. So in 200 level, taking out your gun for the Rizzler. What song is that? In second year of university, Microsoft is a global company. Yes, just like Google, Amazon, Facebook, and all that. But Microsoft was then, still now, more into, bringing up developers, people who write code, to just talk about that. So they had this team then called Developer Experience Team, where they go around the country, around the world, telling people about technology and making them fall in love with technology. In 200 level, through the doors the prof opened for us, Microsoft came to our school, FUTA. I attended FUTA, Federal University of Technology, Akure. They came to our school. We had to shift the entire school exam by 1 week because of that program. Well, the school had to do it, not me, not my team. Microsoft came to my school, and then the person who presented, the technical evangelist then, it was a DX lead, technical evangelist then, the way he spoke about technology, the way he spoke
Sorry,
about Windows.
Sorry to cut you short. We're still kids here. When you use technical and evangelist together, sometimes we might think it's a pastor that is saying something technical.
Okay.
So,
Technical evangelist is it's kind of a pastor, but a pastor of computers. So his job was to make people fall in love with computers and Microsoft. So he came to my school, and then the way he explained the entire Microsoft programs and technologies and everything that Microsoft does was wow to me. And I was like, I want to be like this guy. Then he dropped his contact details. Then I was messaging him here and there. And then after school, I was like, by 200 level, I wanted to be like this guy. When I graduated, because I wanted to be like him, I kept in touch for that entire time. And then by the time I graduated, he was the first person to hire me as an intern under his team. And then through that, the door of the world opened up for me. I've visited a lot of countries. I have spoken at international conferences, like world-class conferences. I have done what I wanted to be then in 200 level. I've been that. I've gone over it. Also, I think that was the main one, really. Every other thing was just an evolution, like a build-up on that experience. I've consulted for many companies, I've written for many companies, I've worked for many companies, individually and as a team. So I think that was the most, would I say, pivotal moments that really turned this around. No, I was of this mind back in my village in Ibadan that I could just fix people's computers. But then moving to 200 level, I was like, I could tell the world about computers. And that is what I'm doing now, literally. If you find me online, that is what I'm doing. I tell people about computers, I tell people about coding, I tell people about cloud, about the future of work, about everything around computers. That is the dream I'm living now. And that was that moment for me. And I don't think I have a lot of those, because it's also good to have one focus in life and work through that goal.
all right, great. I hope you guys are taking notes. You see that at some point, are you guys with me? Can you all hear me?
Yes, sir.
I can see someone
Yes,
explain
sir.
there. You need to pay attention to Mr. Dara so that you understand why tech is
Stop.
really important. So pay attention to what we're saying. So you see that you cannot sometimes do it on your own. That's why you always need help at some point. If you are stuck somewhere, you don't say, no, let me just leave things here. You keep pushing, you follow people that you know have the knowledge, people that are, well-grounded, they've already had the experience. So instead of going through the long route, you have a bit of shortcut by just, disturbing those people once in a while. So that's a very wonderful one. I'll have a couple of questions for you along the line. But before I bring in the kids to start asking their questions, I want to start with this very typical question. You started from programming. I'll assume you started from learning how to use a computer first. You dived into programming because there are some fundamental things you would have had to learn before you started, like, in fact, creating a folder at least. So, what language did you ever start with? What programming language did you? What was the first hello world language you ever wrote? Because I know at some point in the back, Python wasn't so popular. But we're using for very hardcore things like Java, C#, C++, and all that. So what was that first programming language?
The first programming language, well, people don't exactly think it's programming language, is HTML.
Okay.
The first thing I actually ever built was a web page. There was this program, I don't know if it still exists now. Mavis Bacon teaches typing. that I learned to type with on the computer.
Mavis
That
Beacon,
was,
yes.
that was the first. At the end of the lesson, there was this thing that said, write your first web page. That was the first thing. The other one I could remember was VB6, Visual Basic 6. That was that other one where I put a picture and a button on a page, and then that was it. But then the first professional programming language I used was C#. I've learned a couple of languages along the way. There's a lot of them. So I've written Hello World in at least more than 10 programming languages.
Okay, so great. So the very first one I would say is HTML. Did you do a bit of CSS then, or it was just the rigid HTML?
It was just a blank, boring web page. No CSS.
Okay, now the question I'm going to ask before I bring in my board members is this. Looking back at that journey from when you started first HTML page till now, what programming language do you still use? Like, what's your what work do you do? That's the first question. What do you really do? What do you use that programming language to do now? And how has it been learning that language? Generally, how is it learning those languages?
Yeah.
Some of my people here say it's hard to, Uncle, I don't know how to do this. Get it, sometimes we get all those kind of feedback, but then we also want them to also know it's like learning another language like French, learning Mandarin, one other language. So how's that journey and how have you been sustaining? Do you still learn now, or you're just the senior final expert?
That's a very interesting question. And I think I'll start from the last comment you made. Like, yes, I'm a senior-ish person now, but I think titles don't exactly matter in this world of technology. What matters is, but the time we stop learning is the time we stop having impact. It's as simple as that. So as knowledgeable as I am today, there's still a lot of things I don't know. I don't know 1% of the technology world. I don't even know 0.001%. As knowledgeable as you think I am. So continuous learning is one thing. You will never stop. You should never stop learning. Because what you know today, the shocking thing about the world we live in today is what you know today will most likely be very stale in 1 year. Will probably be stale in 2 weeks or 4 weeks. So that's to that. So what I do every day is my work. Well, the title is DevOps Engineer. And what that involves is writing code to ensure that other people's code gets to the right set of people. So you finish writing your Python, your C#, your HTML. My job is to build that app and ensure that it reaches John's phone in USA. It reaches Nkechi's phone in Anambra, and ensure that it is always working. If it breaks, if it stops working, it comes back to me to fix it, to ensure that it works. And then I work with the developers that write the code. I work with the people who support the app. I work with people who sell the app. I work with people who manage people who write the apps. So I work with a lot of people from day to day. Now, I don't from day to day now write C# anymore. I can still write C# if I need to do my personal website and personal stuff. I still use C# a lot. It's my go-to language anytime, any day. But then I don't use that from day to day anymore. I use a number of languages depending on whatever I'm doing. I use a combination of YAML. Well, for some reason, YAML means YAML ain't markup language. Don't ask me why. I don't know also. I use Terraform. I use PowerShell. I use Bash. I use JSON. It's not exactly a language, just a document structure. I use a number of many of those things. I use Bicep, Azure ARM. There's just a combination of them I use from day to day. So if I say this is what I use today, in 2 weeks, if you don't see me, you probably say, oh, this uncle is a liar. No, I'm not a liar. It's just that things have evolved because I get to learn new things every day. 9 months thereabout ago, yes, I knew Terraform a little bit, but I didn't know it in depth. Before my current job, I used to write Bicep a lot with PowerShell. Now I write Terraform a lot. 2 years before that, I was teaching people how to write code. The years before that, I was writing C#. The years before that, I was probably doing Fortran or Basic. So, but what exactly matters, what has helped me to be able to learn all those languages all these years is that I never stopped learning. I was grounded in the fundamentals. The basic foundation can never be overemphasized. Yes, I'm no longer a day-to-day programmer, but my understanding of programming has helped me to be able to think critically when I'm writing code to deploy these people apps. I can think of how they have written their apps and be able to deploy and build that app to work properly when it gets to these people's devices. So, is programming hard? Yes. I will not lie to you. Programming is hard, just like any other productive skill on the planet. Is engineering hard? Yes. Is medicine hard? Yes. Is law hard? Yes. Same as programming. But is it worthwhile learning and pushing through? 100%. Look, as knowledgeable as I am, I've been stuck on issues for weeks. So you getting stuck now, it's not the end of the world. You will get stuck many times. You will get stuck. But then what will differentiate you and the people who don't know or who will never succeed in this field is that you push through. You never stop trying. You try until you are able to fix it. You keep trying until you fix it. So it is hard. Yes. I will not lie to you. Python is even easier compared to C#. Simple truth. Yes, I know a bit of Python. I know a bit of C#.
True.
So I know which one is harder. But Python is easier to learn compared to C#. I know both, but then I know both simply because I knew the fundamentals, and then being able to learn any other thing was just a matter of a couple of days, learning the fundamental concept about it and then applying the knowledge. I think it's also not good enough to just know something, but it's also best to apply the knowledge that you know. Think of problems in your head. Think of problems. Yes, I say this. Think of problems you can solve with that little thing you know, that or little thing you think you know, and then go for it. Or think of a problem that's even beyond what you think you know, and then find help on how to use the knowledge, use that programming language to solve that problem.
True. That's really a nice one from you. Thank you very much for that truthful clarification. Programming is hard, but it's your own personal push that matters. And at the end of the day, you should always think of being the one on top of the problem, solving that problem at the end of the day. That's what differentiates you from others. Thank you very much for that very wonderful introduction and the walk through your journey. I know my people have a lot of questions for you because you can even see mics around. They're guessing there are lots of gadgets, machines, probably servers running in that room right now.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, okay, what's can we ask? Someone's already asking a question about AI in the chat. And I'm like, oh, okay, great. Someone's already thinking far already. Like, okay, nice. So what we're going to do is this. I'm going to call on you guys, but whoever wants to ask a question, you know the rules. Raise up your hands. Once you raise your hands, I'll call on you one by one. You'll unmute your mic, put on your camera, say hello to Mr. Dara and ask your questions. Is that clear, everyone? So raise up your hands. I need to see your hands raised up before I call on you guys. You don't know how to raise your hands? Oh, it is on me. Well, has already done that. Who else? Okay, great. Okay, so let's start with Ewa. Can you please unmute your mic, put on your camera, let us see your face, say hello to Mr. Dara. At least welcome our guests. You won't see him all the time. So
Hello.
let me ask you a question and ask whatever question about tech you want to ask him. He's a guru. He's my Oga of the Oga. So ask my Oga the question. All right, thank you very much. Go ahead.
I want to ask you a question about your introduction.
Okay.
How old were you when you were in 200 level?
Okay, 200 level was 2011. I was 2011. I would have been 19. I was 19. Was I? 2011. Wait, let me do my math properly. I was 19, yes.
Okay. When you just knew how to code, which app do you use?
There was this what's it called? So uh I used Notepad, shockingly. Notepad was what I used. So what we did then was we would download the compiler, write the code in Notepad, and save it as the extension that compiler could understand, and then run it. So we opened like 3 programs to be able to run one singular program.
What kind of project can you do on Notepad?
You can actually write an entire solution for the space with Notepad. So let me tell you a shocking thing. All the fancy apps we used to write code today, they are just a derivative of Notepad. That's a simple fact. So use Visual Studio Code or PyCharm, whatever thing you use to code today. You still write texts, and then you press F5 or write some commands to build it. What you're essentially doing is you are saving that text file in a format that the compiler understands. And then the tool you use just helps you do it better and faster. So everything is still sort of Notepad.
Okay, sir. The gadgets around you, are you the one that invented it?
That's an interesting question. I did not invent all these gadgets, but then, except my computer screens and these two, I'll probably say about 40% of them were, I wouldn't call them gifts. So what I do is, because I make a lot of videos, shocking, I have all these things just all around me. This right here is a microphone I bought in 2020. I bought it because I wanted to make better YouTube videos. This was actually the first mic I started making content with, real content for YouTube. So I bought this device, made a video about it, and then I uploaded it to YouTube. And then after that, companies that make microphones and gadgets, don't mind my camera, that's an AI camera. Companies that made gadgets like that, let me just make it stop tracking me. Good. So companies that made the microphone saw my video, and then they reached out. They were like, would you want to check out this microphone for us? We'll give you for free, but then say whatever you want about it. And then I started with this mic with the put on the shirt, and then you hold, and then from there, I got a number of them. They are just all around me. If I can do a little bit of a brag game here. So if you look back here, some of these bits are messy. That's my camera. That's my other setup. There's another camera just right there. That's some of the lights. Like 40% of all the gadgets you see all around here on my desk were given to me by these companies. And then I just make short videos about them. And then I get to keep the gadgets and just have fun with it. Sometimes I buy the gadgets, but most times I do not.
Okay, sir.
And that sort of brings a point to my mind that whatever you know, don't be afraid to share it, because you never know what doors it will open for you.
Okay, sir.
That's
Yeah,
all.
that's
Yes, sir.
great. Thank you very much, Ewolua. I hope you've learned something from Mr. Dara. I'm pretty sure you have. I know you've learned something. Mr. Dara is also a content. What he just told me is that he's also a content developer. He creates video content that helps to educate other people. So what you know upstairs, you can also teach other people. You might never really know who is out there, who is watching, one of your colleagues' friends, your uncle. You know, once they see that this person knows this stuff and is able to do this thing very well, never can tell the opportunities that might come your way. So that's what Mr. Dara is saying. And I know there was someone that mentioned sometime that she loves to appear in front of cameras and talk about things. So I hope one of you will learn from Mr. Dara. So we have a quick question from the chat. It's from Mr. Deji. Okay. Said, sir, do you think that AI will replace programmers? And what should we look out for?
Oh, yeah. Great.
I actually wanted to ask that question behind the scenes.
That's it's a very important question to actually ask, because it's something I think about also myself from day to day, like all this smart AI that probably can write better code than me. But the truth of the matter, as of now, I'll answer the question in two ways. The truth of the matter is, as of now, our jobs are safe. Well, at least I know for the next 2 to 5 years, our jobs are safe. But then, what I think of AI is that it is a tool to help, not a competition. Now, I paint a scenario. I do a lot of videos, I write a lot of things. And my major challenge is sitting down, have the time to write lengthy content. So what can I do? I can put this thing in AI, so list the points I want to talk about, and then tell AI to, you know what, I think this might be better if I show it. And this is one of this, you know, my secrets today. I'll share my secret with you. Do I have permission to share my screen at the moment? So let me use this one as an example. Okay, I can share my screen. Sharing this screen. I tell you, I make a lot of videos, yes? So this is a sample of something I want to do. You see this one here? So all I have to do, pick the concept, copy it. Oh, I'm not sharing yet.
Okay, I think you're not sharing your screen.
Okay. I think you can see it now.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
Can you all see his screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right,
Yes,
all
sir.
right. So just learn a 1 minute text.
Yes, sir.
Mr.
So I
Dara.
make all these videos. This is just one of the other many videos I make. So this here, AI does the job. I'll show you what it does. So all I have to do is pick the concept, copy, add a new item, open it up. I just put the title. That's all I have to do. And then watch what happens. I can generate content. So this is what I'll post on Instagram. And this is what I will talk about generated for me with AI. Easy peasy. It's the same thing with code.
Amazing, guys.
It's the same thing with code. Let me show you what I could do with that with code. Let me open my coding console here for you. No, ignore that. Let me close this, close that. Let me open something. Let me open a folder here on my programming console. I'm gonna go to my dev folder. I'm gonna go to let me open this one. Yes. Watch what I can do. You see here, I'm just gonna create a new file. Working with AI. I'll make that a PowerShell script. Okay. So I write PowerShell, I mentioned that. So I don't know what to do, but then I want to be able to rename all the files on my computer that start with IMG to IFT. I ask AI to say, write a PowerShell script to rename all files starting with IMG to what did I call that? Let's make it IPM. Watch what happens. Generate a sample code for me. Paste that in. Work begins.
Is this not amazing, guys?
I could even write, let me use an example of what you used to write a Python code to say hello world. Let's just make it pretty simple. It could do more complex things. So it is a tool. Now, I might be stuck. I might not know things I need to do, but then with AI, of course, I pay for this monthly. With AI, I could make my work better and faster. That's what I'm saying. So right now, it cannot replace us, but it can help us because it still needs context. It still needs something to think about to be able to generate whatever it's generating. It still needs to think. It is not 100%. It cannot be 100% because people wrote this thing and people will keep improving it. So the goal is, if you're thinking that AI will replace your job as a programmer, you are probably not good enough a programmer yet.
Sometimes I also think it has to do with your creativity too. The computer cannot be as creative as you. Like you said, context also matters.
Yeah.
You might think of an app now, and the best the AI can do is to write snippets of, or even if it's long, you cannot build an entire app yet, at least. And an entire app is from the creative mind. It's not
exactly.
It's not something you just think of and think you can solve that problem.
So don't be afraid. We're safe.
Okay, that's great. Thank you very much. Michael is raising up his hand. Michael, can you unmute your mic and put on your camera and ask your question? Ask Mr. Dara your question. Michael, are you there? Hello, Michael, are you there? Okay, I don't think Michael is there. Daisy, raising up your hand. Can you unmute your mic, turn your camera, say hello to Mr. Dara and ask your question? Daisy. Oh, Michael is back. Unmute your mic, Michael.
Sir?
Okay, great. Michael, you can ask your question. Go ahead, please. Oh, Michael, can't hear you. Can you hear me? Hello, Michael. I think there's something wrong with your audio. Try and fix your audio and come back. Adaize, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, great. So you can ask your question now, Adaize. We'll come back to Michael.
So, like, what's the name of the website that you made?
I've made a couple of websites, but then I could show you one that is mine, which is my website, daraoladapo.com.
Yes, please show her one of that website, at least
All
one
right.
of your works.
One moment, let me move my screen properly again. Share screen this and click on share. I'm just gonna open that up right here. So this is my personal website. I literally just fixed it before this meeting. It's not the most beautiful website. Don't get me wrong. It's fine. It's nice-ish, but then it's not the most beautiful one on the planet. But then watch what I can do with this. You see, that is looking fine, yes? It was built with WordPress. I didn't write code for this. I used other people's code to develop this. But then what I could do, oh, I actually wrote this. Oh, not bad. Now, this is code I'm writing for my new website. Y'all are seeing all my secrets today. That is nice. Okay, so this is code I'm writing for my new website. This is, no, I'm going to close all of these ones. This is a combination of C# and HTML. As you can see here, CSHTML. This is raw C#. As you can see here, it is CS. And if I want to run this, of course, I've written a couple of code here to make it work. Because, of course, the platform I'm currently using, I'm not so happy with it. So I need to make something that I have control over. And if it breaks, I know exactly what breaks. So what I can do now, oh, and I have this pretty terminal here, where you do your Python this, Python that, where it shows me the folder I'm in, my Git stuff. You probably don't do Git yet, but you get there. The name of the logged in user, my container, my cloud subscription. So what I could do is I could do, let me go into the main website, and then I could do .NET Watch. So .NET is the tool used to build C# code. I could do .NET Watch. And if I do .NET Watch, see what happens. Wait for it. So what it's doing, it's compiling my code. As you can see, it builds it into a DLL file. That DLL is what runs and turns into this. So I put my picture, of course. Code did not generate this picture for me. Then this is what I'm working on. You probably would see it in a couple of weeks or months if I have time to complete it. And then watch some, well, I won't call it exactly magic. So what I want to do now is I want to pull some changes down, and you see the page refresh. Okay, I need to reload it. So I have some errors here. That's why I said programming is challenging. It will not always be fancy. This is an error here, right here, that I need to fix. But then let's see if it will work if I reload it. I might just get lucky. Will I get lucky or not? Let's see. Oh, I'm lucky. Now this text has changed to white. No longer whatever was shown here. You see, that's changed to white. And then some couple of things I'm still working on. You can see there's a copyright thing below here now that actually shows. And this leads to an HTML page. I need to fix that. So there's a lot of things I could do. This is just one of the many things I could do. And then I have something called a Docker file that I can use to build it up and package it and push it to a server somewhere.
Great. So, Adaeze, I hope you've seen one of what Mr. Dara has done. You see what he can do. You see that it might look complex, right? It might look like there are too many codes, but trust me, you're still young. Over time, you will learn all these things. All those lines will just be like you're reading English language. Just be like, oh, this is what this does. This is what this does. This is what this does. So just give it some time. It's hard, but you can do it. If Mr. Dara can know it, if I can know it, if Mr. Adiola can know how to code, all of you can learn how to code. So exactly, I hope that did not intimidate you and say, how will I write this much code? You can do it. Every one of us here can. So thank you very much, Mr. Dara, for showing us that. Well done. So we have a question again from, okay, Michael, do you want to unmute your mic now? And
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, great, we can hear you now. You can, yeah, please show, switch on your camera. Let's see your face. Let Mr. Dara see your face. You can see all of us faces. So let's see your face and ask your question.
Okay.
Is this Mickey Mouse or who's this? Oh, great, it's you. All right, go ahead, ask your question.
If not for AI, where would you have been now?
I would have still been a very awesome programmer because there was no real AI when I started my career. Well, there was AI, but then it was not as rampant as this. I was a programmer way before AI became super popular. And even after AI is gone, if it ever goes away, I will still be a programmer.
Great, great. So, Michael, I believe you heard when he said AI is just a tool to help you enhance your skill. You shouldn't rely on AI completely. He never relied on AI. He was a programmer before this AI things came. He's still a programmer. If AI decides to die off tomorrow, I am sure he'll still code. So I hope that answers your question.
It does.
Okay. All right, great. There's another question in the chat, which is a very interesting one. Being that you've worked with different people across the world, different things, the person is asking, that's Loinka, says, what is the role of a lawyer in the tech world?
That's a very interesting question.
What's the role of a lawyer in the tech world?
I think it's very crucial. That is very thin. It is very crucial in the tech world. Now, you work with a lot of people, a lot of companies, and I think one of the major problems in tech is not actually the tech, but the people in the tech. So there will be times where you need to sign contracts. There'll be times where you will not be happy with the way some customers or people are working. There will be times where you need to do things according to the law. Lawyers are experts in that field. You need them to be able to ensure that whatever app you're writing, whatever tools you're building, comply with the law of the country you want the app to launch in, or whatever other country in the world you might want to launch into. You need to sign contracts. You need to ensure you do things legally and rightly. And if you ever run into trouble, your tech would not save you. Lawyers will save you. So lawyers are very essential, just like people who work in finance are also essential in tech. People who know how to manage people are essential in tech. So it's not just all techie that is involved in tech. There's a lot of many other moving parts in technology. Law is one of them. Finance is one of them. Compliance, people management. There's a whole lot. Analysis, sales. It's also one of the things that is very important in tech. So every career that interfaces around tech are actually very important to tech, because tech cannot just exist alone without tech. It needs especially law, because there'll be times where you just want to sue people or companies or get your money out of their hands, and then that's where lawyers come in.
Yeah, I believe especially if you're into tech as an entrepreneur, you really need a lawyer. So if you intend to build softwares and sell them, you need a lawyer. Even if you're employed as a developer with an organization, at times you might need a lawyer.
Everybody needs a lawyer.
Everybody needs it. They're just like doctors. So yeah, that's a great one. Any more questions before I ask my question? Rivela, are you here with us? Okay, Kelvin, you've been chatting and you've been dropping some messages in the chat. Do you have any question for Mr.
Yes,
Dara?
sir.
Oh, Miss Rivela, you're here. Oh, great. Do you have any questions for Mr. Dara?
Not now.
Oh, not now. Okay. All right, great. So the question I want to ask is...
Before, I think Michael has a follow-up question of what he meant with this question. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
so if I was not doing tech, where would I have been? I would have been a farmer.
Yeah.
I would have been a very successful farmer, or maybe a full-time saxophonist.
Oh, great. So those are one of your hobbies. So we're going to get to that. I was going to ask what you do outside of coding currently, because I know at least you need to pull your head a bit sometimes. You take some time off to reflect also. So great, Michael. I hope you've gotten your answer. Yes. All right. Great. So within all this tech bubble, the whole AI thing, how everybody is screaming, oh, AI, like you see someone coming to ask, AI is coming after programmers, basically. How do you guys feel so? I also believe they're just enhancement tools. But over time, certain things have really changed. I remember when I first developed the web page, it was with the Microsoft front page before we transitioned to Dreamweaver, a whole lot of other.
Good old days.
Yeah, so I did a bit of that, started moving on to, I did a bit of PHP, I was just playing around. So there was some sort of evolution. in terms of what people even used to build websites. WordPress was not so common back then. CMSs were not even common back then. And some of the languages we have today are not so common. With this AI craze, the AI adventure, what key skills do you feel would never really, because we can't lie to ourselves, AI would actually somewhat affect the job market. Yeah?
Yep.
But what skills are really important apart from just learning the fundamentals? What areas do you think, they can also dabble into, go into, to build themselves to, follow this same trend, because it's like another small bubble. What skills will be so important for them?
It's a bit of a hard question to answer that way, but I'll try to do justice to it. So,
someone speaking.
Back, I think they've mentioned back in.
Oh, Jaden, you have a question? Just hold on, we'll come to you.
It's my brother.
You want to do what?
It's my brother that have a question.
Okay, after Mr. Dara has answered this question, we'll come to you, Jaden. Okay, go ahead, Mr. Dara.
Okay, around 2015-ish, there about 2015, 2016, blockchain was the running thing. Around 2020, 2021, it was NFTs. They are still existing technologies today, don't get me wrong.
Sure.
What I personally feel is it will be the same thing with these AI tools. 1-2 years, they will kind of go still and become general part of our lives. But then, I'm a programmer, first thing, very cool. I don't want to sound proud, but I am good at what I do. I'm not inevitable, but then I am assured in my skill that if I get laid off from a job or a contract or anything happens, within the next 2 weeks to 1 month, I would find another gig. That is how confident I am in my skill. And I think that is what you should opt for. Whatever you do, you should be very good at it to the point where you are very confident of yourself. Whatever skill it is. Look, today, people don't really learn a lot of C++, assembly language, and all these old archaic languages. But then there are people making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month with it. They are not popular like our C# and JavaScript and Python. Their people are very, very good. They are kind of retired employees. Like they support this old system because they cannot just let them go. So you should be very good to the point that whatever you know, there's this thing in the Bible that says, whatever you know to do, do it well. If you're very skilled in your thing, you will stand before kings and not mere men. It's as simple as that. So I won't tell you, go do DevOps or go do blockchain or go do that or go just write apps. I will say, whatever your hand finds to do, whatever skill you're building today, know it very well. Know it to the point that if they wake you up in your sleep, you can talk for hours on it without flinching. And you will never be scared of whatever new thing comes up tomorrow.
Great. I like that. I hope everyone got one thing from what Mr. Dara just said.
Yes.
You should be what? Good
Yes,
at what you do. And what makes you good at what you do? What do you think makes you good at what you do? Who can answer that question?
practice.
Very good. Constant practice, constant learning. Learning never stops. Someone as good as Mr. Dara still learns today. He still goes, let me learn how to do this. Let me learn how to. So you that are still at this level, you should know that learning never stops, and you need to continually push, confident in what you do. When you need help, you reach out to people that you know have the experience, can help you, and you would always get a solution or a way out. Thank you very much, Mr. Dara. So Jaden, back to you. You said your brother has a question. What question does he have for us? I'll mute your mic, please. Hello, Jaden, are you there?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay, great. Great. What question does your brother have for Mr. Dara? Where is he? Is he shy?
He's asking if the class is over yet.
It's not over yet. It's not over yet. And I hope everyone is paying attention because all
Yeah.
club members will be required to write an essay on this. So I need you guys to pay attention to what's going on here. Tomide is here. Unmute your mic and switch on your video, your camera. Let's see your face. Can you ask Mr. Dara a question? Tomide, you can go ahead.
Hello, sir. I want to ask if you still have interest in agriculture.
Yes, I still do, but not on a professional scale anymore, at least for now. Because tech has taken all my time and it's well, apart from my family, it's my love. So yes, I'm interested in agriculture in terms of, sustainable agriculture, thinking of what tech things I could do to ensure agriculture is safe and sustainable generally. Although I don't think actively about it from day to day, but that's just the interest I have. But it's not my core interest anymore, like technologies. I just want to be able to use tech to help people. And if it's agriculture today, yes. If it's medicine tomorrow, yes. If it's law today, if it's whatever field, that's what I want to do for the rest of my career.
That's a great one.
Thank you.
I'm sure you'll still go back to it. Okay, so someone is asking another wonderful question, but I think you've covered it before. Saying Kelvin is asking that, so how many programming languages do you know? I'm sure it's more than 10.
How many programming languages do I know? Where do I start from? I think I stopped counting at 15.
Oh, wow.
Although I don't write them professionally, but I could still do some little bits of things with some, refresh. I can still make things happen. If you
So
can't
in
take
recent-
HTML as a programming language.
Yeah. That's great. That means that's why you're so confident in the fact that you could actually, find 1 gig or the other at any point in time. Which one is your favorite? You realize asking, which is your favorite? I think you've answered that.
Yeah, favorite is C#, always and forever, at least for the next 4 years.
Oh, great. So Prevela, he has said it before, his favorite programming language is C#. I'm sure Prevela likes Python. Prevela has been in a Python class, and
Yes, sir. I like.
himself. Yeah, that's great. That's great. So I have one last question from my own. Who has a question again before I go ahead? Who has a question? Who has any question for Mr. Dara? Okay, I believe everyone has exhausted their question. What I'm about to ask might be a bit difficult, but in recent times, how you've been growing in your learning, in what you do, every project is in its form. Let me not say recent times, all your career, in terms of all the time you spent in working for someone or building project, which one project have you done that is wow, that till date you're still like, man, what was the project all about? What did you guys build? Was it an Imagine Corp project? Was it what was that wow project based on what it was about? Probably also the team that was a part of the project, the people that you had to work with, their expertise. Just give us that in recent, like especially something that solved the problem.
The most amazing project throughout of my career. Whew. You were right. It would be hard to answer.
Yeah.
I have to think about it. Okay. think the most interesting one, all have been interesting to be very factual, but then I think the one that is still top of mind for me was when I first became an intern. That was year 2015 thereabouts. I built a visitor app for the front desk of the Microsoft Nigeria office back then. I built it in about 1-2 weeks. The app was ready. Fastest production app I've ever built. Today, well, I wouldn't exactly say today. I've made money from that app, selling it to people, like personal money, because of course the app is not licensed to Microsoft. So I've sold this to a company, although the business folded and all that, but then it's still a project that is still on my mind to take it to the entire world.
Well, that's great. That's like a key one. For you to have even used it at Microsoft, they built and they actually used it at Microsoft. That should tell everyone about how solid the app must have been. And you did it in 2 weeks.
Yes. I did an iteration about 4 years after that was better. I did that in about 6 weeks anyway.
Great. Like an updated version. What did you name the app?
Although you won't find it online for now, I had to pull it down. But then I hope this video is not going to YouTube. The app is called
It's going to YouTube, but it's just for
Anyways,
the kids
it's
channel.
called Regist. The name is trademark. Anyway, pick the name, I'll pick another name. So I could sell it to Microsoft if I wanted to, but nah, I don't think I want to sell it, at least not yet. I want to build it to a point where it has helped a lot of businesses before I decide to sell the soul of it, if I ever want to sell it.
Wow, that's great. So you see, guys, you can make money on your own by building things people actually use. So I really don't know if anybody have. Oh, what language did you use?
C#.
Rivella, he told you C# is his best.
Python is great. Don't get me wrong. I could have done it with Python with some desktop frameworks, but then it's Microsoft C#. You get it?
Yeah. So I think maybe there's still like initially I remember back then I didn't know C# was a Microsoft thing. My head was like, oh, just another language out there. Then all my friends C#, what's going on? Then I knew it was actually somehow affiliated to Microsoft. I said, oh, everybody has this Microsoft thing going on in their schools. Is that Imagine for a student program or the other? So you see, you guys, even right from your secondary education down to your university, these guys sometimes come around to come and seek for talent, people really interested in coding. If Mr. Dara decides to go into his personal journey with all this, you find out it's an exciting thing. He had a mentor that actually linked him up to the platform. Some other people, they had to, go through probably browsing online, checking all the time. I remember Salem, a friend of ours, a mutual friend. He did something with Microsoft at some point. There were just lots of things. Then at some point, he got a World Bank thing just based on coding. He got all the recognition based on coding. So coding can take you places as long as you don't stop. It is when you stop, you become a loser. It is when you stop, you've given up at that moment. It is where you stop, you are stopped. So you can't progress from there. So with that said, is there any last question for Mr. Dara so that we'll wrap it up here and allow you guys, go back, reflect on this meeting, and come up with something for our blog. We also publish on our blog. We have a Codely blog where we publish some of this kind of events and allow them go over it. Allow other people to see why it's important to come into tech. And any question? Oh, someone is asking, what's the name of your YouTube channel?
It's just my name, Dara Oladapo.
Dara Oladapo.
So if you just put Dara Oladapo on Google, it will most likely lead to the first 3 results you'll most likely get is my YouTube channel, my website, and my LinkedIn profile.
Right, great. And
What database
follow-up
management
question.
system? SQL, Microsoft SQL. I'm a Microsoft person, in and out. I don't work for them. They don't pay me anymore, at least. But then it's just this. That's where I find value.
What do you do on your website?
What do I do on my website? I sell myself. So the purpose of having a website as a professional is to sell yourself. I don't make money on the website yet, but then I get discovered through my website. If any job opportunity is to come to me tomorrow, if any contract is to come to me tomorrow, if any vetting or background check is to be done on me in the future, my website will be the first point of call. So they can see what I stand for, my ethics statements, and my track record.
Yeah, great. And it's even one of those important things you need to do as a developer. At least you need to be confident enough to show yourself to the world that this is what I can do. And since this is what I can do, you guys, I expect you guys to bring me projects. And project gives what? Money, of course. That's the one of the end goals. So that's a great one. Kelvin, you said you asked a question. What question? Oh, he said SQL, Microsoft SQL. That's the DBMS uses.
Yes.
I hope you've gotten that, Kelvin. All right, great. So SQL Workplace.
I have a question.
Oh, great. What question do you have? Go ahead.
What country is he in?
What's that? What did you say?
I said what country is he in?
I am based in the United Kingdom.
Okay, great. He's based in the United Kingdom. He's not here in Nigeria. I know there are 1 or 2 people that used to join from the UK too, are part of our club members. That's great. So, any question, any last? Because I have a final question for Mr. Dara before we end today's program. No questions from anyone, right? Great. So, Mr. Dara, I have 2 questions. One will come before the other. One is personal. Like I said, I was going to ask. You seem to be someone that works a lot, which is basically because you enjoy doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But what exactly is, what are your hobbies apart from coding? I know it cannot be farming because you currently do not go to the farm. So what other thing do you use as a form of, let's say, relaxation or distraction away from all the gadgets and all the mics around you?
Okay, this might shock you, but don't be shocked. Don't be shocked. Outside of all the tech, I relax with tech and sax. In that
Someone
order.
said sax. Oh wow, that's great.
But of course, there's time I do not come in front of the computers because rest is also essential in life. Taking a
I
break.
thought you were going to say video games at some point.
Sadly, I do not play video games. I don't know how to hold a pad.
Oh, you're the first tech you have met that has said
Yeah,
that.
shocking. I know,
yeah.
right? But more seriously, outside of technology, outside of being in front of computers, I enjoy just playing with these gadgets, unboxing them, just exploring world and stuff. And I think aside for that, I think I just enjoy spending time with my family. Today alone, I've played a lot with my daughter outside in the garden. I just enjoy that chill time where I don't have to think about the problems the cloud is giving me. I don't have to think about, I just have to think about people. I just have to think about how good life is, how good God has been to me. So outside of that, I think I just enjoy doing nothing.
Great.
Like I just sit down and literally chill.
Great. Thank you very much. So the final question was the theme of this whole event, which is me putting it back as a question to you, as a rounding up question, since nobody has any question. The question to round up with, give us a little bit of a gaze into the future, your own gaze into the future. What is the future of IT to you? Because we've spoken about AI, we went on a journey of how you went into IT, we went into so many things, but what does IT look like in the future to you, beyond all these things? Do you feel that in the nearest future, there might be another, bubble that would be here and there that people will need to, start ranting about, like the way AI is all over the place? What's the future of IT? For you, Mr. Dara.
Through this, there will always be bubbles. There will always be. Every 2-3 years, there'll be a new bubble. But then I think the future lies in technology being integrated into the core of our everyday lives. We think it's integrated now. It's not. We think if we are plugged to our phones and our devices now, we are not yet. I think it will, in the 5, 10, 15, 20 years, I think, and I might be wrong, it's just my personal thinking, I think tech will be at a point where, at least to the developed world, it will be, we would live in technology. Like what is around us, technology will be ubiquitous. Like we can do things all around us. There's neural technology today where your brain can set signals and it will perform actions. Those are advancements that are happening today. I'm not saying they will be all good, but majority they'll be all good. But then I think we would live in technology, not that we will be using technology. We would live in technology. Like it will be all around us. It will be what we wear. It will be in, our clothes. They've started making clothes that can change color. They've started, doing all amazing stuff. Bone conduction headphones are all around us. The Apple Vision Pros of this world. What's called mixed reality will be a thing of the future where I could put on some goggles that's not as heavy as the Apple Vision Pro. That is still light, but that is probably as light as this, and I can literally be on the street and be in a meeting. Like that is where I see technology. That is where I want technology to be, where the simple things of this life would use technology. Like I could just tap on my glasses and say, hey, call Mr. Victor. And they will get on a video call. And they will plan a vacation. And then at the end of the call, I get a checklist of things we need to do to plan that vacation. That is where I see technology being. It's not far-fetched. It's something that is very possible. The technology is there. The tools we need to make it happen is available to us today. And that is where I see technology in the future.
Great. I like that. I would love to be a part of that future. We existed in a certain kind of bubble that it's also exciting, but I would love to see some more exciting stuff in the nearest future. Thank you very much, Mr. Dara. It's been an exciting session.
It's been an honor.
The kids asked for very exciting and wonderful questions, and I'm sure they have a lot to talk about it. And we'll be publishing a few things on our blog. Like I said, from the kids, their own view, what they thought about the session, what they learned. I would love to see that session and all that. And as we always do, we have a small, something small we always do. We host people like this. We give them a thank you wave. So I need each and every one of you to put on your cameras. Everyone, hello guys. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Everyone should switch on their cameras.
Yes, sir.
Dara has spent some time educating us, interacting with us, and we need to thank him properly. So I need every one of you to switch on your cameras to say thank you.
My camera is switched on.
Oh, great. So just hold on. Who else has not switched on their camera? Jaden, Saeed, Marwan. You guys should switch on. Are you shy? Don't be shy. You're all developers.
I want to be a cat.
You want to be a cat? No, don't be a cat. Be a developer. Be a software developer. Build programs for us. So great. I hope everyone can see Mr. Dara, and I hope Mr. Dara can see all our wonderful club members.
Yes, I can.
And I want you also to give Mr. Dara a wonderful wave of thank you. Thank you very much for being a part of us.
It's been
Thank
an
you
honor.
for
Thank
coming
you.
to this session and educating us. I learned from this session, and I hope to do this some other time, where I invite you to see some of the projects we have built in this club. Again, Codedy Club is a coding club for kids, taking kids from age 7 to 15, introduce them to visual programming, transition them into text-based programming. And we teach them about tech, and we do this once in a while to ensure that everyone is connected to the future. Without learning tech, there's no way you can really plug into the future and make your mark. So thank you very much, Mr. Dara. Thank you for
Thank you.
being with us today.
Thank you
Everyone
very
should
much.
say
It's been an
thank you.
honor.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
All
you,
right.
sir.
All right. Great. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you very much, everyone. And like I said, everyone has an assignment.
Thank you, sir.
Everyone has an assignment. Every one of you club members have an assignment. You would write about this particular session we had with Mr. Dara. Tell us what you enjoyed about it. Tell us what you learned from it, and tell us whatever it is you want to tell us about it. Mr. Dara, he has a lot of gadgets around him. I think I would like to be like him. Tell us everything about what you enjoyed about this particular session. Is that clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
All
Yes,
right.
sir.
So you'll get the recording. It's going to be shared with you guys on the WhatsApp group. It's going to be in our YouTube channel.
Thank you, Mr. Dara.
All right. Thank you very much. So once that is ready, I'll share the link with everyone, and it's going to be available for you guys to watch. It's most likely going to be this evening. So stay tuned, as I'll share later this evening. Is that clear, everyone? Jaden, what are you guys doing?
Yes, sir.
You're enjoying yourself. All right, great. Thank you very much, Mr. Dara, and do have a nice weekend, everyone. So bye, guys.
So,
Bye, everyone.
bye.
Bye, everyone.
Ciao.
So I lost my internet.
Bye.
Jaden,
Bye.
we're rounding up now. All right, guys. Bye. Take care of yourselves. The video will be shared
Bye-bye,
with you guys,
sir.
so don't worry.
Bye.
You will have access to this
Bye.
recorded
Bye, sir.
Peace
Bye-bye.
out.
everyone.
Peace out.
Mr. Dara.
Bye-bye, sir.
Peace out.
No.
Dun, 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 dun.